Okay, so I just woke up like 2 hours ago, somewhere, I don't know. And I've just been scrolling the internet and watching Vines like I always do. And today, I'm just not dealing with anything. Like, I'm just done. And I needed to rant about like 5 different things. So this is gonna be all over the place. But I'm just in a bad mood right now. And my sister is coming over in like a half an hour. So I have a half an hour to be mad at the world. Well, not I can be mad at, never mind. Okay. So first of all, I've been making a lot of rant videos and just posting them on Facebook lately. But my phone decided that in the middle of my rant, it was gonna stop filming for no reason. And I literally just dropped my phone and I was like, I'm gonna throw something off a cliff. Probably saw that on Vine if you follow me on Vine. Yeah, so if you want to follow me on Vine though, it's the same name as everything of mine, hystericSky. Not hystericSky as some people say it. Do you know what the word hysteric is? Done with people. Okay, so one of the first things I want to rant about is people being stupid. That's actually all the things I need to rant about. But here, let me get a little more specific because I feel like my camera is gonna turn off on me and I'm kind of terrified because I don't want to be pissed off again. Okay, so what I hate is when you make plans with people and first of all, like, I'm gonna be a little upset if you cancel your plans with me because everybody does that. I always get plans canceled on me. But what will piss me off to no end is if you don't tell me until like way later or just not at all. Like, I had plans almost every day this weekend, and they all canceled on me. And if I had not specifically texted and called them, I would have had no idea, and I would have just been sitting there alone, just like, what's going on? One of them actually rescheduled their plans to today, and I haven't heard anything from him since Friday. Yeah, probably not hanging out with him. Thank you, Logan, for letting me know that you cannot hang out. That was a really weird voice. Okay. No, but like, people cancel their plans on me all the time. I'm used to it. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be a little upset. Don't try to like avoid my feelings because that's one of the most annoying things in the world is when you try to spare my feelings. Like, I do not care if you piss me off or if you upset me or if I end up crying as long as I know the full truth. Because just why? Okay, anyway. But like a couple weeks ago, 2 Saturdays ago, I had plans with this guy, which I had already had to reschedule. And I got up in the morning and like spent all this time getting ready and I was freaking out because he was online and he wasn't responding to me and he kept not responding to me. I just had this total breakdown and flipped out. Started yelling and just all this stuff. Finally he messages me back saying he got called into work. So that's something I would have understand. Like, I would kind of be like, why can't you just say you can't go into work? Like, that's what I would have done if I worked. I would have just been like, I already have plans today. I can't really cancel them. Because I'm a decent human being. And the first thing I do when I have plans with people is keep my plans with them. It's very rare that I will actually cancel plans with you. And if I do, something is very wrong. Like, I canceled plans with my friend Jonah a couple weeks ago because I was having a mental breakdown and I couldn't stop sobbing. Like, that is an acceptable reason. Like, if I had a headache, I wouldn't cancel plans with somebody. Like, just all this stuff. I don't cancel plans with people. And when I do, I let them know immediately if I cannot hang out with them. Like, I like drop everything like, wait, I can't hang out with this person? Let me message them on 3 different places to make sure they know so they're not sitting around waiting for me. Why is that such a hard thing to do? So many people don't do this. Just friggin' message me if you can't hang out with me. Like, I will be fine. Just tell me. Anyway, so back to the story. He got called into work, which would have been fine and everything, except for the fact that I spent like 2 hours cleaning up my house and getting ready that morning. And he was saying like, would it be okay if I just came over after work? And I was like, yeah, that's fine as long as you actually come over. And I haven't heard from him since. It's been like 2 weeks. I think I scared him off with my freak out, but to be honest, I don't think that was my fault because he's the one who didn't actually let me know. Friggin' tell me these things, people. I just hate it when people like just disappear, like totally never show up, and it's just like, you couldn't at least tell me? Like, is it really that hard to like send me a text like, hey, I got called in work. I'm like, okay. Like, I had this friend who would disappear for like 3 hours at a time, like, while we were texting. And he was like, oh, sorry, I went to a movie. Like, you couldn't have texted me before the movie started saying, hey, I'm going to a movie. I would have been like, okay, have fun. Like, could have avoided this whole thing here. Anyway, that was the first thing I need to rant about. Second thing, I've already ranted about this on my Instagram and my Vine and like a billion times on Facebook, but apparently people still don't understand it, so I'm gonna need to rant about it a little more. There are 3 words that people misuse all the time, and it pisses me off. Because they just use them, they're like, haha, happy-go-lucky, let me just use this as an insult for everything, even though I don't know the actual definition. Wow, I'm in a really weird mood today. I was really depressed yesterday, and now I'm having really weird depersonalization today, so I feel like I'm in a dream, and I also feel like I'm like, not me, and anyway. So the 3 words that people misuse. The first one is selfishness. This one I have explained so many friggin' times, but people still do not get it. Selfishness is not the act of putting yourself first. That's normal. That's human. It's okay to want to put yourself first. Okay, what selfishness actually is expecting others to put you first. Like, just being like, I need you to throw everything you need to do away just for me. That would be selfish. Like, this is an example that I use for everything, and it's kind of, I'm gonna be kind of rude about it because I'm sick of like tiptoeing around people's feelings, like, oh my gosh. No, I'm gonna be rude about this, just to warn you. Just don't be like, oh my goodness, you're such a horrible person, because I've warned you, I am a horrible person. Yay. Anyway, so suicide. Everybody calls suicide selfish. Suicide isn't selfish. Calling somebody selfish for being suicidal is selfish, however, because suicide is when you're so hurt and you don't, or like anxious in my case. I only get suicidal when I'm anxious for some reason. Anyway, but when you don't really know what else to do, and you've already tried everything for yourself, and you're already trying to think about other people, like, oh, they're gonna be hurt, or like, some people are like, maybe they won't even care, like, it's kind of hard to think when your brain is obviously messed up. Okay. But then people are like, oh my goodness, you're so selfish for actually thinking of yourself. And it's like, excuse me, no. You are expecting other people, like, you're expecting this person who's obviously hurting inside to put all of their problems away just because some little tiny person's gonna be unhappy and be like, oh my gosh, it's so horrible, they're gone. Yeah, that's selfish. Of course, I have a weird view about death. I consider it just being like, oh, they've moved on, like, yeah, I'm never gonna talk to them again. I'm really good at accepting death for some reason. Like, my friend messaged me a couple weeks ago and he was just like, hey, tell everybody I'm dead. I don't know. I don't remember what it was. But he's dead. Even though he was talking to me. And I was like, okay, can I have my book back? Like, I know that may seem kind of like hateful in a weird way, but just like, I don't understand why people freak about death. Like, it's gonna happen. Everybody knows it's gonna happen. We plan our whole lives out only, like, you're gonna die. I'm sorry to tell you if you didn't know that. You're gonna die. Everybody's gonna die. Some people may die earlier than others. It's something that you gotta understand and accept. Like, people are gonna die. And the thing that I don't like about why people freak out about death so much is that it's not like they're thinking like, oh my goodness, this person, they could have done such great things. Like, yeah, that's what they're doing. But it's just like, most of the time it's just like, I'm never gonna talk to that person again. And that is more of a weird selfishness in a way, because it's like, you're hurting because you can't have the attention of somebody that you always had. Like, you know it's gonna go away at some point. I don't know. I have a weird view on death, okay? Death doesn't faze me. It's gonna happen. People are gonna die, and I'm gonna be like, okay, I guess we weren't meant to talk anymore. Cool. Like, yeah, I'll miss them and stuff, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, break down in tears because I'm never gonna see this person again. Like, no. Anyway, so back to what I was talking about. Yeah, selfishness is the act of expecting others to put their needs aside for your needs, not putting yourself first, because it's perfectly okay to want to put yourself first. Anyway, unless it's like specifically hurting other people, but even then I don't really care. I kind of don't. Anyway. Okay, the second word that people misuse often is ignorance. I've seen this a lot lately. People don't understand something and then somebody's like, oh my gosh, you're so ignorant. Like, I don't understand everything. I don't understand most things. There are a lot of things I don't understand, but does that make me ignorant? No, it just means I don't understand. What ignorant is when you purposefully choose not to understand. Like, there's this post that I've seen of this girl who was I don't know if it was a girl or not, but somebody was saying like, oh, if the earth was 10 meters to the right, like too closer to the sun, we would all die. God is great. And then somebody kind of explained it like, Earth goes on an elliptical pattern. It's like, it ranges from like millions of miles. And if that were the case of the 10 meters thing, any decent sized earthquake would just throw us out of the zone. And the person just freaked the crap out and was just like, excuse you, like she just got so freaking upset because somebody actually told them the truth. That is ignorance. When you don't want to accept something that makes sense. Like, it's like telling somebody that the sky is blue and they're just like, no, it's not. I will never believe that. That's ignorant, because it's friggin'... Ignorance isn't not knowing something. It's specifically saying like, I choose not to understand this just because I just want to be right all the time. Basically, that's ignorance. But everybody's just like, wait, you don't understand something? You are so ignorant. And it's like, excuse me, that's not the definition of ignorance. Anyway, and the last word is disrespect. I get called disrespectful all the time because I have such a weird opinion on everything. And specifically on days like today, Memorial Day, I don't like holidays like this because I don't support war. But I'm not gonna go around like flipping out like, no, none of you can support it. Like, that's just not something I'm gonna do. Anyway, but I don't personally support it, but people freak out because I disagree with something that everybody else agrees with. Like, I posted on 9/11 last year that I think that 9/11 should be more of a personal thing, and that it's okay to mourn for people, but just I don't think it should be a whole countrywide thing where we're forced to have a moment of silence. I personally didn't have anybody die in 9/11. I didn't have anybody near death in 9/11. I wasn't affected by it at all. And I don't want to have to be a part of that if I wasn't affected by it. And some girl like flipped out, and I wasn't like saying that you couldn't mourn. I was just saying I think it should be more personal. What's wrong with wanting something to be more personal when it's obviously personal in the first place? So anyway, I just don't like Memorial Day and days like today because all I hear is, oh my gosh, you're so disrespectful. But the thing is that disrespect isn't just disagreeing with something. Disrespect is being hateful towards something you disagree with. If I was running around yelling at people and calling them stupid and hateful and all this stuff just because they support war, like, that would be disrespectful. But me just saying I don't support anything to do with the military. I don't support countries in general. I have a really weird view. I think we should just be Earth. We shouldn't be like, oh, Japan and America and Canada and England. And it's just like, no, Earth. Yeah. I don't see what the problem is with that. But I get called hateful and disrespectful, and there's something wrong with you. You need to go get help. Like, people think I'm a horrible person just because I disagree with something that everybody else agrees with. No. I'm not being hateful towards other people agreeing with it. I'm just saying, like, I don't. That's not disrespectful. That's just me. So yeah, those are the main things that I needed to rant about. I feel like my camera's gonna die soon. I'm just really pissed off. Ooh, there's another one. I've been talking to people on Badoo a lot lately. And just, these people bug the crap out of me. Which is why I go on there, because I don't have a lot of ways to let out my anger. That's why I get on so many internet fights and I just flip the crap out. Badoo, Hot or Not, Meet Me, those are fun places to get out your anger because there's all these like guys that are wanting to hook up with you and you don't want to hook up with them, and so they get all upset about it and start calling you a slut because you're self-centered, even though they just threatened suicide because you wouldn't go on a date with them even after you told them 10 times that you wouldn't and why you wouldn't. That actually happened to me last week. Anyway, people. But there's just been so many people lately that just message me and they're like, hey, and I'm like, hey, and they're like, how are you? And I'm like, I'm alright. And then they're like, okay, lol. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, and they just get, they talk like 13-year-olds. Like, just have a conversation. Stop. Wow, okay. But it's just these people, and they also get so freaking offended when, like this guy, he just gets, like, really upset when he's just like, do you have any plans for the day? And I'm like, nope. And he's like, why don't you have any plans? And I'm like, because I don't like making plans. And he's like, why? And he's like, super offended just because I don't make plans. And I'm like, calm down. I just don't make plans with people because they always bail on me. And, like, I am honest about how I feel. Like, when people are like, how are you doing? Like, I'm not just gonna be like, I'm good, when I'm not. Like, if I say I'm good, I'm good. If I say I'm fine, I'm fine. If I say I'm alright, I'm alright. And if I say I'm not okay, I'm not okay. Like, woo, just be honest. Okay, anyway, but I've just been kind of alright lately. I've been, like, not really bad, but not really good either. Just kind of there. And so people are like, oh, how are you? And I'm like, I'm alright. And they're just like, why just alright? And I'm like, because I'm not good and I'm not bad. Why? Why is that such an offense to you? Why are you so offended that I am not fantastic like you expected?